Hey guys, what's going on? So 31.0 just dropped, and miraculously, I got the update. Unless everybody got the update, I don't know. Sometimes people have to wait, and it's ridiculous. But I did get the update, and I did go into this first so that I could showcase everything quicker and be accurate. So let's go into this. The one thing that I really want to talk about is going to be items, so I'll do that last. But there are some other things that I found interesting. So this is obviously going to be the star of the week. It's going to be Twilight Ranger. This will change every 6 days and 9 hours, every 7 days, every 6 days and 9 hours. You get a leaderboard where if you use a Twilight Ranger and you get this amount of wins, you will win this amount of things, which is just extra added bonus if you happen to be one of those kinds of people. You will then have a store that will presumably be the same as well. This is essentially in lieu of events running all the time. Now you get the offers of an event running all the time. So you have 1,000 to get a star chest. You have a 50% chance of getting the star of the week. And in every other case, you'll get a random legendary, which would feel pretty bad. $15 on a singular unit is pretty bad. And for all of those people, now you can always buy 10 legendary shards for $100, which is also pretty bad. But yeah, since they're getting rid of all the other events, they're not going to be able to have these offers. And so, or I'm sorry, they took them out. Yeah. They already took them out of this, but they were here in events, and so since Mirror Match is going to be the only event, I'm presuming it's not going to rotate every week. I don't think we're going to have a Mirror Match every week in the same way that we do with a rotating Royal Trials Mirror Match Rush for Glory. It does say that Rush for Glory is going to happen in 13 days. I trust that will be erased, and that's just a placeholder for right now because they haven't taken it out. One of the new things is going to be Dragon Rift. There's a 4th floor on Dragon Rift. Once you finish the floor, like the current one, you will just be stuck on that floor. They're not resetting it. You're not getting a new floor. You're not getting new rewards. You get all the rewards one time, and that's it. So that's something to note if Dragon Rift comes out and you start wanting to gem wings. Some user interface UI change that I really like is this little tab button on the top. You can now sort through everything. And then if you sort through all, legendaries appear at the top, and then epics, and then rares, and then commons. That's an interesting change. I don't know. I like that you can sort just by legendary. I think that's kind of cool. And then heroes, they did reverse that as well. So now all the legendaries are on top, and then epics, and then rares, and then commons. I think as you progress in the game, it does start to kind of get annoying to have to keep doing that. Like when you do all, and when the legendaries were at the bottom, and you had to scroll to that, and then do that, and then and then look up at your deck, and then go back down, and then look up at your deck. It's not big. I'm not saying it was the worst thing in the world, but it is a nice change. It's one of those, and I like changes like that. I notice things like that. And so the only other thing that I really wanted to talk about that I will spend some amount of time on is the new system for equipment. Now, for everybody that watched my previous video on my thoughts on 31.0 when they first announced it, this was the thing that when I started to understand what it was, I got really excited about. When I first heard it, when I first read it, I was like, this is so stupid. This is the biggest a dumb change. And then when I realized what was going to happen, I really liked it. I don't necessarily want to go into my entire thing about it, but suffice it to say, I was very excited that I had a double Hunter's Jacket at max rarity, at maxed, with triple awaken, because yes, that is what you need in order to get a mythic item. They both need to be at max level. They both need to be legendary. They both need to be triple awakened. It has to be like, you have to, that's the only way you can do it. But also, and that's a big but also 15,000 essence and 150 hammers. Now, I feel like what this is for people who don't have mythic, or, you know, who are not upgrading their heroic items. Heroic items, this is where you used to use your hammers. And I had them, so I've been using them, on my trickster item. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of an okay thing. I guess they're in here. I got my my trickster item to 3, and then I have my my snowflake item to 2, and that is to reduce the cooldown. The cooldown time for the ability. And this goes to like, I want to say it goes to like 20. And every time you use 10 increments of 10 hammers, every time you use 10 hammers to get to the next level, your percentage chance of it failing keeps growing. But you're getting bigger and bigger cooldown reductions. And so this is what I was using my hammers for. So I'm pretty sure I don't have any hammers at all. Because I didn't even have I have 0 hammers. I thought that I was saving a reasonable amount of essence, at 980 essence. Apparently not. I need 15,000 essence and 150 hammers. Now, you can buy hammers from the store, but you're usually buying other things. You're buying the magic orbs. You're buying all the celestial shards. You should be buying those. I suppose if you're a newer player, you're probably going to want to buy epic hero fragments. Technically, if I had anything extra, they would go towards seeker compasses. But now that they added the 3 heroic tokens, now you always want to buy heroic tokens in order to get the heroic items. But then now they gave you a new reason to want to buy hammers. And now I need 150 hammers and 15,000 essence in order to get a mythic. Now, the only technical thing that a mythic does is it allows you to have every single faction. Now, I don't know if you have a mythic item, set faction bonuses still exist. So, for instance, on this, okay. I'll give you a good example here. Something that I don't have. Yeah, I don't have everything on this one. Okay, so with this one, I have 2 Magic Council faction bonus items, and this last one is going to be a forest faction set bonus item. So this middle one is a forest faction, right? But this one is Magic Council, and it's for this genie deck, right? So how this works, when you go into this, this set bonus statistic, it's generic for all of your items. It kind of acts like your crit. When you upgrade a unit, it doesn't just upgrade that specific unit, it does, but it also gives you a generic bonus that is your crit. Your 5986% crit. When you upgrade your bruiser, right? You're not only gaining damage. Your actual bruiser is gaining damage, but you're also gaining a crit percentage boost that is going towards all of your different units. That's basically how this bonus works. So I generically upgraded 1 time. So my set bonus right now is a level 2. If I were to upgrade this again, the the enemy ally damage goes from 1.5 to 2, and then the damage for units of the set faction goes from 3 to 4. Now, these bonuses aren't giant, but they are something, and something is better than nothing. It's one of those things. So in the same way that when you upgrade a thing to reincarnation, you get a 1% damage boost per reincarnation level, but that times all of your units, you could be getting a 15% critical bonus level, or you could be getting, a 15% damage bonus just for doing nothing, for just reincarnating all 5 of your units that you're using for a deck to 3. And you're just getting a 15% damage boost for no reason. That's kind of how this feels. Except when you throw essence into your into this, because that's what you're using 200 essence. All of your faction specific gear is now getting a flat bonus just because. So the way that this works, if you have 2 items that are set faction bonused, you get a reduction to your opponent's damage. If you have all 3, you get both effects. The other effect being damage for your units. So with this Genie deck, I have 2 of the 3, right? Because I have the Mage Robes, Magic Council set faction bonus. I have the Spear, Magic Council set faction bonus. But my Amulet of Swiftness is Forest faction. So I'm going to be able to activate the first one. So my enemy ally damage is now 1.5% decreased. If I had all 3, in the same way that I do for this deck, I have the Hunter's Jacket at Forest faction, I have the Sword at Forest faction, and I have the Amulet of Swiftness at Forest faction. With this, I have all 3. So now I'm getting, my Blade Dancer will now be getting 3%, and my opponent will be getting 1.5% reduction. You can forever upgrade this, presumably to 20. I'm not sure what the max level is, but actually, if I press this little I do. I was like, usually there's a thing for this. Max level is 10%. And it's something. This is the chance of successful upgrade. Depends on the current selected level. So you're using 200 essence, and I only have a 40% chance of it actually succeeding. 25%, 15%, 10%, 30%. These are some weird numbers, and then it just goes 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, up to 15. So you have 15 levels of upgrade, and so that's how that works. But yeah, I think that it's a way to spend essence for people that are not there. There's so many different ways to spend essence now. With trying to re-roll your enchantments, I don't need to spend essence in that way anymore. Trying to awaken everything, I don't need to spend essence in that way anymore. And I feel like there's just so many end game level mechanics at work here that you need to keep doing at different stages of your game. So even me with somebody that has this amount of like legendary maxed out equipment, they still need to find reasons for me to need to have essence, for me to want to spend essence in some way. Even if you decide to, be smart and get all of your faction specific things, you can further change all of your things by changing the set bonus. I could presumably change the Forest faction set bonus to something else, then change the set faction to something else. I think this works individually. I don't really want to try it because I could use 800 some other way. But there are 3 here, And it makes me wonder if I change the set faction, if I will not get Forest faction, because Forest faction is already on here. If I have to change Forest faction and then change the set faction, that would be insane. I thought that it would just re-roll the 3 that you currently have. That would make sense. But the way they have it laid out, I don't like it. I mean, I could try to change this, but I don't really want to change my... I don't really want to change my maxed out spear. I guess I could change this on something that I don't care about. I don't technically care about this because I'm not going to use it. You know what? I'm going to do it for the video. So let's say I want a Forest faction set faction. Can I change, if I press the center, can I change, will it change? If I get Forest faction here, will it just replace the Forest faction on the side? Or are the only 2 other choices going to be Dark and Techno? If it gives me Dark or Techno, I think it's safe to say that it only changes to what you don't have. If it gives me either Forest or Magic, then that would mean that it could give you anything. I don't know. Let's just try it. Oh, no, it does say it. It's a good thing I clicked it. I just wasn't sure if it was going to give me... You have a 20% chance of getting either Dark or Techno. Yeah, so if you wanted to change it to something that you currently have, so like this set faction, I would want to change to Forest faction, but I would first have to change this to either Dark or Techno in order to be able to then change this to either Forest faction or the thing that I don't get. That seems kind of crazy. And that seems, especially at the rate of 800 essence, that seems like a lot, and I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend doing that. I think you should use all of your essence towards upgrading this, even though that you have a successful chance to be able to do, you have a 40% chance that changes from 40 to something between 40 and 10. This is going to permanently help you. No, but then if you do that, you then need force, or you then need a set faction bonus, which is probably the reason for why you would want to get a mythic item. Presumably, if you get a mythic item, it gets it works for every faction, and so if you have 3 mythic items, you have the full set bonus. You have the set bonus all the time, because it would be weird if you didn't. If you had all if it generically worked for all factions but didn't give you a set bonus for all factions, I'm pretty sure that it will. And I would love to test that, but I don't have 15,000 essence, and I definitely don't have 150. I definitely don't have 150 hammers. But I'm pretty sure that's the reason why you would then want to go and get a mythic. I think what I've been doing thus far with all of my equipment, I think this is where I'm pretty much gonna stay until, and I'm just gonna work towards getting mythic items, and just upgrading regularly and getting mythic items. I think that's the only thing that that I really want to do. If you don't know what I've done, I will cover that really quickly. For each item, I tried to get every faction, even if it wasn't a set faction. So for this, I have Dark Forest magic, and for my other amulet, I re-rolled and got a Techno, Light, and Dark. In other cases, I was less lucky. For this one, I got a Forest magic Dark, so that means I need Light and Techno. And for this one, I got Light. But I didn't, on my third reroll, I didn't get a Techno. I could change this and get a techno, and then all of a sudden this would be done. But this will be done anyway, because all I'm gonna do is upgrade this to max, and then when I combine both of them, once I get 15,000 essence and 150 more hammers, this will be done anyway. So there's no actual reason to re-roll any of this. I could do it, but I don't think that there's like that specific of a reason to, other than because I want it now. I think working towards 15,000 essence and 150 hammers is kind of like working towards 1,000 celestial shards. In that way, this is a very end game kind of thing. It's something that you're not supposed to have right now, and eventually in the future, because you're planning for this, because you need to plan for this, it will pay off. At some point, it will pay off. I've worked up 1,280 celestial shards, just to talk about something else. And the reason why I've done that was I was going to upgrade this to level 2, but when I get this genie to level 15, I can then reincarnate it. And when I do reincarnate it, because I specifically reincarnated a scrapper, I already have the essence for it. I'll be able to reincarnate it and get the first reincarnation talent. And then I'll have even more by then. By the time I get to a level 15 plus genie, and have the even more copies that you need for reincarnation. But I think, yeah, like that's what this mechanic is. That's what they've changed. Every other thing has had this. So for units, you have reincarnation now. That's an endgame level mechanic. For heroes, you have the heroic items, which is an endgame level mechanic. And items, they kind of just like once you had items that looked like this, you were basically done. You were like, all right, well, I guess I don't need to care about items anymore. I'm only caring because I have to care, because I have to use these fragments for something else. And now they're actually giving you a real reason to want to do this, as opposed to having to do multiple set factions. You can now work towards trying to get a mythic, and then having all set factions. I think it's good. The chance element when you're upgrading this, I don't like. It's something, but I like that it's generic. I like that it's generic for all of your equipment. I'll do this again. Yep. And then I got a plus 1%. So now I'm at 4 to 5%. Or I'm at 4% and 2%. And now I have a 25% chance of a successful upgrade. But yeah, like I like this as a generic boost, if you have set faction bonuses. And, you know, like the plus, if having 3 set faction bonuses, or having 3 set factions to get your damage bonus, it's not a lot, but it is something, and something is better than nothing. But yeah, those are my thoughts on 31.0, and I will catch you guys next video.